Africa TV, Freak Up Studio Live. 2020 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
What's up, everybody? We're here at the final day of the GSL Super Tournament. We've got both the round of 4 and the finals to do today. It's going to kick a lot of ass. And this is our last day of StarCraft 2 for you and I for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, the year is not that long, but honestly, probably for a while. We don't have the schedule for next year yet, but
that's right.
Normally GSL, it's been years since we've started in January, so I think it's going to be a bit.
We always have January off, so this is our last cast here in the studio for you guys. But I think we have the best possible matches to end the year on a strong note for sure.
Oh, absolutely. You're right about that, Tasteless. Like, these are amazing matches that we do have. I feel like we do have one strong favorite, but I am just like fingers crossed. If we can somehow get a TY Rogue Finals, it's the perfect way to end the year.
Probably get that.
Literally the perfect way.
Yeah, unless something crazy happens in our second best of 5 here with stats. Which I don't think is going to happen. Maybe, but right now Rogue looks, and it's weird to say because he's been the best in the world a couple times already, but he looks better than ever.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And it seems like somehow he's managed to enhance his play style even more, which is crazy.
He actually looks like by far the strongest player in the world right now.
But TY has had the best year. He might be one of the only guys having a good year here in 2020.
Actually, it's him and Rogue, right? Between them, they won every GSL this year, and then Rogue also won Katowice.
Right.
So yeah, they're dominating. Trap and Stats having a pretty decent year overall, but have some tough matches ahead of them here tonight. First up, we have TY versus Trap, of course, a best of 7, and then Stats versus Rogue, a rematch from the Season 2 finals, the most one-sided finals basically ever. Hopefully Stats puts up a much better fight this time, and I think he will.
So, I think TY versus Trap is going to be very interesting to see. I do think there's a chance Trap can take TY.
Oh, yeah.
But then if Trap wins there, unless Stats causes, I think, the biggest upset of the Super Tournament and actually beats Rogue, and again, this is nothing against Stats. I know Stats looks phenomenal sometimes, but right now Rogue seems to be like the fourth race of the game here. I think it's going to be tough for Trap to beat Rogue in the finals here.
Yeah, it would be tough. Although I think he's actually, in my opinion, Trap is the best PvZer out there right now.
I agree. I think he's got the best style of PvZ for this era here.
Yeah.
And PvZ's been tough for the last probably 2 years here, off and on for Protosses. They seem to not all be coming to a real conclusion together is how you're supposed to approach the matchup. We see a lot of different styles. Sometimes they work, but even when they work, sometimes they don't work for that long.
Yeah.
And the Zergs make the proper adjustments. But TY, again, he was supposed to cast the Super Tournament. He only did it for 1 day.
Yeah.
And Curious is making caster money right now while TY is trying to make the prize pool money here. He's just been playing incredibly well. And he looks to be, I would say, not even each tournament, but in each day we see him a better iteration of himself, an improved Terran.
Yeah, TY is just so unbelievably strong at the moment. But Trap is looking really good as well. I think his PvZ especially is looking super strong, but I think his PvT is just always quite good. There's very few off days for his PvT, and that's always TY's hardest matchup.
Right.
Honestly, that's every Terran's hardest matchup. They all kind of feel like it's tough to TVP, but we'll see what type of shape he's in here today. I can absolutely see this going either way.
Yeah,
I almost have this at 50-50.
I think you're probably right. I'm curious to see what approaches Trap is going to have here. TY is, out of all the players we have, very strong in best of 5s and best of 7s. He seems to know exactly how to open, whether that's to fish for information or to create ambiguity about how he's going to play for the rest of the series.
Yes.
But also he knows how to adapt very quickly here. But Trap is a very smart player and is definitely able to have players almost play themselves. He's very deceptive. His timings are very sharp. And he's got a very good handle on early game all the way into late game. So, I mean, Trap really is, in a lot of ways, the ultimate Protoss. A very different Protoss from Stats on the other side of the bracket. And we're actually ready to get this started, guys. TY versus Trap, best of 5, game 1 starts now. Oh, nice, we did it, 420.
Africa
That's actually
TY.
That's how we actually started this whole thing. We said, well, what if we have enough StarCraft games if we get to 4-2-2-0 and it's almost like 420?
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah, won't that be cool? And they were like,
220.
you know what? It's worth 10 years. Let's
just for that moment.
Yeah.
So starting off with the proxy. All right, all right. See how that goes for him.
Yeah, this isn't too surprising.
You know, one thing I do want to mention, stylistically from TY. Wow, look how close they are. 14-13 Legacy of the Void.
That's even closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. We thought it was going to be 14-12.
14-11 was exactly the numbers I had in my mind.
Really? I would
No.
never say that. That's crazy. 14-11.
That's too much.
It's too one-sided. You know, the one thing that has really stuck out to me lately about TY's TVP for basically this whole year, his best results come when he is really focusing on killing probes early on.
That's an interesting point you make. Yeah, if he can knock out a couple workers, and you know, this is one of the more straightforward ways to win a StarCraft game. It's a really elementary way to look at the game. And when I say elementary, I don't mean bad at all. I mean, it's the building blocks of how you understand how an RTS game works. But it does seem like if he gets a lot of worker kills, even I would say a decent number of worker kills early on, he just steadily stays ahead and pushes his advantage and closes it out. Excuse me.
Yeah, it becomes very hard to macro at that point against him. But, you know, he does like a lot of Hellion-based openers and stuff. Like does Hellion drops, tries to use all sorts of different tactics to get in there and knock out probes. I just wonder how on guard we're going to see stats for blocking that, you know? I mean, a trap for blocking that. Because I feel like it has been, in a lot of ways, the backbone of his TVP this year.
So the Reaper is going to come in here and do a little bit of harassment. Trap's control is very good. The Reaper will be able to get out and regen its HP. But there's a bunker down here that I believe is actually going to finish before this SCV can be killed. Am I correct on that?
Just barely.
Wow!
Yeah.
Look, the bunker actually finished itself. It's like close enough.
Yeah.
The SCV didn't finish it, but the rest of the parts were set up and they slid into their bunker slots. And
What do you call that? There's actually a word for that, like in golf, right? If you have your ball right next to the hole and you just push it in with your foot.
I don't know.
There's a word for that. What was it? Oh.
Someone's going to tweet it at us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what that bunker was. Yeah.
It was, you know, it's when you just fudge it in, you're like, okay, we're not going to give me a whole another point for that.
Okay. Some additional pressures coming down here. Now, there's Widow Mines being made, and I imagine a medevac is going to come in a second here. And this is going to be, I think, in this case with these players, and this matches to what we were saying earlier on, it might be one of the most important parts in this series because Trap needs to defend his probes. TY is looking for worker kills.
Yeah, he is.
And he's usually very effective at this. And even though, I mean, the only thing that's easier than defending 2 bases is defending 1 base from harassment. Okay, but that's not, you're never really defending 1 base from harassment, right? Right? But the thing about StarCraft is that it's the fastest RTS game, but also players like TY are so good at exploiting the milliseconds in between screen switches and drawing attention away. That's what a good StarCraft 2 player can do.
Yeah.
Is get in there and know, like, okay, if I just draw your eyes over here for a second, that's just enough time to get a Widow Mine, bro. That you just won't have enough time to pull your probes. And this can really start to add up. Now, the Zealot seeing a lack of anything here should telegraph that the drop is coming now from TY. The question is, how much damage is it going to do?
All right, drops out of mine immediately here. It does have, well, a couple of Reapers in there. That's a weird drop. We've never seen that, Tasis. 10 years of GSL, I've never seen 1 mine, 1 Hellion, and 2 Reapers drop out.
I think the idea was he probably had some micro techniques he wanted to use with the Reapers with the mine. Maybe knocking workers back into the mine or something like that, keeping stalkers at bay. But that was deflected very well by Trap. He completely blockaded that off.
He's blocked everything.
Yeah.
Even the initial Proxy Reaper got 0 probe kills. Like, what has he lost here?
It looks
one
like
stalker at the natural and like a probe in the main.
Looks like Stats is playing or something.
Yeah, no, his defensive play is amazing. Remember when Trap was still coming up, we were kind of calling him like Stats light.
Yeah, diet Stats.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Like Stats cherry flavored. Yeah.
I would never insult him like that.
Caramel Stats.
Caramel
I think we said
Stats?
that at least 20 times.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, totally, all the time.
Yeah.
But he's definitely coming into his own and become a different player stylistically. But he did build a lot of his PvT off the base of strong defense.
Yeah.
So we have charge and +1 armor on the way. Plenty of gates coming up as well.
Maybe we had it backwards. Maybe Stats is just vegan Trap. You ever think about that?
No. Stats came first. Well, come first doesn't really make too much sense. Like, Stats got to the top level before Trap did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't call him anything Trap.
But that's before we knew that, it was bad for you to eat meat or something. No, I have nothing. I'm sorry. So I got to say, Trap's playing a solid defense game, but TY actually hasn't overextended.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I mean, losing a Reaper, the Reaper literally doesn't do anything the longer the game goes on. But, I mean, that's a scalp. But TY hasn't fallen into a lot of the trappings that happen to players that are too aggro, where they just lose a bunch of attacking units and don't kill much, and then they're just weak later on and die. Mm-hmm. I mean, Zest comes to mind with that, where he does a lot of these aggro pushes, and sometimes they dominate, but other times he just doesn't really go anywhere, loses his adepts, and then loses the game. Not the case this time here for TY. TY does appear to be setting up for a third base and a push, but there's going to be a very well-timed Zealot drop as a charge is going to complete. Oh, I'm sorry, he's not going to go in yet, but there's this harassment is available. That's what I should say.
Yeah. It feels to me right now, as Storm is finishing up, like no one can really do anything to anyone if they sit at home. I mean, obviously you can't attack into this with the type of army that Trap has made right now, but also, like, TY can't attack into Trap. Trap has +1 armor, he has charge, he has Storm, he has a Prism. So you put all that together, it's like, okay, if you try to attack, you're just going to lose a ton of army. This game definitely looks like it's going to go quite a bit later from here, and I guess the part that I'm interested in is, what is Trap's next step? Oh, look at this. He's actually going to come in here. I'm not sure that this is going to do what he's looking for it to do. Because TY, like, I think he was not even planning on actually moving out. Yeah, look at that. He actually disables.
Oh, that was actually I was almost confused as to what happened there. It took me a second.
Yeah, he disabled, which canceled the Warpins, but one High Templar got out.
And then that did a feedback onto the Raven.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the first time we've ever had that engagement.
Yeah, that was it looked weird, but it was solid.
No, it was actually a good plays on both sides.
Yeah,
that was like one of the more advanced Warpins that I've ever seen, that they both were tit for tat kind of. It was a back and forth, and I guess that the game goes on. I thought it was going to be like a massive Warp of Zealots, and then it gets shut down.
He wanted it.
Yeah.
But
the Templar coming in there too. It never even occurs to me that you can just do a feedback from there too.
Yeah.
The Raven's always hotkeyed with the rest of the army, so very cool.
Yeah, that was neato. I think it wasn't an appropriate time to fly in with the Prism. He may have thought that TY was actually moving out, but I think TY is just doing a little bit of roaming around to catch observers. Yeah, well, or that's what he was doing at that time.
The travel distance from top to bottom on this map is actually longer than pretty much all of our other maps. So Hetty had a better read, and let's say that TY was in fact on the other side of the map. I think the Warpin could have been devastating, but due to having a bad read, the Warp Prism's gone. I'm sure another one's going to get sent in. But for now, that opportunity for Trap is basically gone.
Trap right now is going up to his 4th base. He has a lot of High Templars. They're spread out. They're in a Prism. A lot of charge lots. But what I really want to see is, like, what is his next tech route? Is he going to go into Colossus? Is he going to go into Disruptor? We've seen occasionally crazy stuff like going directly into Tempest off of a composition like this. He was actually doing that, like, was it the beginning of last year? Because with TY, it's kind of straightforward, right? He's going to continue macro. He'll take his bases slightly slower. He's going to have lots of ghosts. Keep up those upgrades.
Right.
But with Trap, it feels like there's a lot of options on how he could go about this.
This is already a great game, by the way.
Yeah.
We've had actually a lot of moments that normally go one way or the other, and they're being handled like perfectly on both sides. So I'm really excited to see this best of 5 unfold.
They look really even right now. Really, really even. Now TY is moving out. I guess he has a little bit more army supply. It really comes down to Psy Storms, though, to decide any fights that we're going to see. And you got to stay away from that. Like, charge lots in the Wulas are insane.
Nice feedbacks there. Muting the ghosts. We have an Archon being made from there. Is this actually a push that TY can take? This looks like really bad, actually, for TY here. I mean, the surround is insane. The storm is just perfect.
Yeah.
Trap is completely smashing. It was funny because as TY was pushing, I thought, okay, maybe I don't have a good understanding of these. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we didn't see this. So this is the hidden value, actually, that TY gained during this.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't know why he would be attacking at all with that army, but now I'm seeing that 17 probes have been killed. But again, losing the main army like that can allow Protoss to just keep snowballing forward, especially since there was really no technicality lost. You know, in that big fight, all 3 Immortals had lived. Now we're seeing this just beginning to thin out, but 2 Archons, 3 Templars, and 2 Immortals is still enough to maybe just trample whatever else is over here.
Yeah, it seems those extra Psy Storms really, really helpful, but TY will end up clearing this. That was really interesting. Everything that we just saw here right in a row, right? Because, like, the attack from TY definitely, you know, it came down to, is Trap going to hit Storms? Yes, of course he is. He has that Prism staying far back. If those Storms don't hit, he can fight, but other than that, he's not going to win that battle. But the fact that he had the Liberators going and killed 17 probes at the same time, like, we didn't even notice. So
no.
Trap was, like, microing his heart out.
Our observer didn't notice it either. Everybody caught that at the end. It's actually an interesting point that's not actually made that often, is StarCraft 2 observing is incredibly difficult because the game's going so fast.
Yeah.
And, we only have pros observed for us. But even then, it was like that was missed. The setup with Liberators in 2 different expansions that shut down all those workers was missed by the observers, the player that it was happening to, and us casting it.
You know, the one thing we have to point out here is that the Armory just finished for TY. So his 2-2 is going to be very, very, very far behind the 2-2 here that's already done for Trap. It's going to take him a long time to catch up on that, and that's going to make this hard. This is kind of a weird engagement to take right here.
Yeah, this seems very, very doable, in every way imaginable for Trap. Trap closes that out with, I would say, one of the best, strongest PvT plays we've had all year.
Yeah, it was incredibly solid from Trap. Like, he was just very solid the entire time. I liked how he had High Templars on the ground as well as High Templars in the air, right, to make it so that EMP can't just trample him, as you said. TY, that one strange attack, right? That was, like, yeah, he got the Liberators in, but you have to look at that and say, there is no way my army beats his, right?
Well, I think he thought that...
If there's no Psy Storms, you can fight it. But if there's any, it's like,
Well, there was only one Psy Storm that hit, and it was a perfect Psy Storm that melted.
Well, the Prism came up, too, with additional. So, like, he could have done more. He just didn't even need to.
Yeah,
he was trampling.
He could just save that.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Oxide for Game 2. Trap with a 1-0 lead. Again, this is a best of 5, and the winner goes on to the finals tonight here in the GSL SuperTournament.
Africa Freaks, TY. Trap.
All right. They did seem pretty well matched, right? Like,
yeah,
they were reacting to each other really well. The only kind of big question mark we have is that one attack with the double Liberator going in the side. If that's how Trap wants to play tonight, though, Liberators are a really big key to playing against that.
I want to point out something here that is, it's going to sound opposite of a lot of the stuff we talked about early on in Game 1, but it is a rule that is occasionally true and very applicable for who actually wins. we were talking about how, TY, to watch this game, you want to see how many worker kills does he get early on, because that's usually how he just cleanly closes out a game. But there are moments where worker kills are actually not even what matters, and that game was a game that highlighted that, is that 17 worker kills is great, but what if you lose your entire army while you get 17 worker kills? Before those 17 probes were killed, they had mined enough to make an army that Trap couldn't, TY couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And so there are moments where you'll see somebody killing expansions or suiciding their units in order to kill, like kamikazing their units in order to kill workers. But if you do that too much, and in this case, I think TY made a pretty jarring miscalculation about what to do with his main army. It doesn't matter how many workers you kill, because they actually have enough that they just walk across the map and destroy you.
Yeah. The Protoss economy is really susceptible to damage early on, because they need to basically hit like a certain amount to be able to beat the Terran stuff that comes at them. But then later on, it really is about dealing with their technical units. High Templars, sometimes Immortals, Colossus, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And you're certainly right. Like, killing 17 probes is very nice. That's great, but he had over 70 probes and 4 Nexuses and a very strong standing army, so it's like the value of that is nowhere near what TY's army value is.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, also, TY had basically finished the army he needed to make. That's why early game worker kills are a lot bigger of a deal than late game worker kills, unless you see like 50 or 40 workers killed in an engagement, because a lot of times already the upgrades have finished, the other attacking units have been made. And so that's just something I think we want to highlight there, because TY succeeded in one way but failed in another way that was so big that he just lost the game. It didn't matter. Oh,
nice
wow,
scout
nice.
right there.
Yeah, great scout. Sees the Oracle being made.
All right, well, he'll be able to defend that without too much problem.
He's got a Widow Mine coming. Is there like a special spot you'd want to put this in?
It's
Or
always great to put it like
above the refinery? Or?
Yeah, above refineries is good. I wonder how many pros actually use the camera pan button to check for that. Because you can make the game turn to its side for cinematic purposes with one of the, like,
Page
what is
up.
it, page up?
It's page up, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, I don't know if anyone actually does that, but that's one way you can check.
Uh-oh, page down, boys. Oh, sorry, never mind. Didn't get hit. He is gonna get hit.
Yeah, if you...
Is he just that much?
You have time to turn around once the little line connects, so if you're looking and you're really on top of things, you can, like, fly into range and fly out real
I think
quick.
he may be intentionally avoiding that area because he knows that's
Definitely.
actually the spot where players put it.
Yeah.
I don't think that was just chance. Do you remember we were talking about, imagine being the best player in the world that you only have it on page up? Like, you have that key held down, you put like a rock on it.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
And you only play at the weird angle.
Play at such a strange angle that people get headaches if they watch you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or wouldn't it be cool if, like, we had, like, Diablo players come over and play, and, like, they used it so that it was zoomed all the way down, so you have, like, the side view of everything?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah. We need to have our own tournaments where players play completely zoomed in or something.
Yeah, there's, like, this weird charity event that happens each year.
Yeah.
Where everyone has some weird way they have to play, like, whether that's zoomed in or, it's, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Neuro wins it every single year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Isn't that wild? Weird stuff like that. They should do one, though, when you have to have your screen turned. Tape that button down.
Yeah,
the
hold that
page
button
up
down.
or whatever.
Yeah. So, here comes that medevac now. Dropping over here. And very good reactions by Trap. Looks like he's only going to lose 2 probes.
Yeah, nice little drop. And look at this. TY dropping, well, landing the Viking in the main. Of course, it's going to 2-shot probe, so doing a lot of damage. And to do this against that Phoenix play, particularly brave. Look at that, though. That's good kills,
Yeah.
right? 6 kills is not bad.
This is also a great way to get capital out of the Viking that, as the game goes on, it's actually obsolete because Phoenixes are here. It doesn't do anything, so to land it and kill some units is great, especially probes like that.
Yeah, I would say definitely worthwhile.
Now, Trap has a very alternative approach to this game compared to Game 1. In Game 1, it was quite different. This time we have Phoenixes coming out. Here we've got more Adepts
Yeah.
as part of the early game army.
Yeah, and that is kind of interesting, right? Phoenix Adept, once upon a time, was composition everyone was using. But
yeah.
Here, it's just like a smattering of both while he goes into Phoenix Colossus. I'm not sure that the Adepts can do anything right now, though. I wonder what the exact plan is for these. Are these just, like, the units that you want for fighting right now? Because, like, if TY did anything for reals, and he had, like, Zealots, let's say, slow Zealots aren't going to do anything in the whole world. Whereas Adepts, yeah, I mean, they'll kill some units at least. There's some counterattack potential at least, right? Until charge, Zealots don't do anything.
Yeah, it's funny how useless they are. Like, there's some units where, like, once you get an upgrade for them, they're like not even the same unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like you don't even think about these units until the upgrade's done.
Absolutely.
Like, you're banking these, but when the upgrade finishes, that's when they actually become useful.
It's like a slow Zergling. How terrible is a slow Zergling?
There's nothing worse.
It's just awful.
Like, you can't even think about the game in terms of slow Zerglings, really.
No, you can't.
You know, you're like, well, how many slow Zerglings to win this fight? It's like, you're not even supposed to think like that.
Yeah. Why are you having a fight with slow Zerglings is the big question. The only acceptable time is at the beginning of a bunker rush.
Yes. And that's only because you don't have speed yet.
Yes. It's on the way, though.
It's on the way. It's coming, trust me.
So true. All right, Colossus are out. That Thermal Lance is finishing up right now. TY just kind of walking around the map a little bit. You do need to get up to that nice critical mass so that Phoenix can't really harass your army. I like these moves from Trap. Oh my god, TY way out of position here. He's actually going to lose a big chunk of his army.
Yeah, this is going to be a funny angle, though, because these Colossi are completely out of position, and one's going to go down with ease. The Phoenix is unable to cover this. I don't see a War Prism with this either, by the way.
No, I don't see that at all. The Disables do a good job. He picks one of them off. He's trying to pick off the next, but he's going to lose his entire army.
Okay, this has been a very clunky fight here for Trap, but he is winning this from everything that I see here.
Yeah,
despite
absolutely.
having both Colossi miscontrolled there and not positioned well. This is going to force a liftoff here. And I'm not sure if Protoss can keep fighting, but if he can actually get a kill on that CC, what is the HP at?
Yeah, he can't get it. It's too high.
Oh, is it still pretty high? Okay.
Yeah. I gotta say though, you can really see the value of the Adepts in this type of situation. If you have Zealots in this situation, it's just you're not going to do anywhere near as well as he did right there. Really cool to see. I love to see Adepts go into a spot that sometimes you see Zealots in and do a better job. Very cool stuff from Trap. He did save, or has a Colossus coming up right now. I guess he did lose the ones that were with his army there. Good disable from TY, but let's take a look at where they're at. Trap is up 10 workers and slightly in army supply. This is generally the period where Terran pops up in army supply above Protoss. So you can see that Trap overall did really good trading there already.
And the Phoenixes are doing a good job. Just keep this back. That was funny.
he thought it died. It needed like one more Phoenix hit there.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that where, like, you know, as the player, you're like, okay, that's dead, just move, and you're not even looking at it, and then the other Phoenix dies. It's like, oops. Need that one more shot.
So Trap's taking the 4th base. Upgrades are continuously being finished here. We've got Blink coming. We've got Attack and Armor now on the way. And we have TY on the defense right now. I mean, Trap is starting to take leads in a lot of different directions here. And this is so many Zealots.
It is so many.
These Vikings are going to be picked off, and the Zealots are still going to be there.
But, you know, if it's only Zealots, though, you can pull those SCVs and tank some damage. He's been zoning out the Colossus pretty well. The Stalkers haven't been dealing that much damage, but this is a lot of units from Trap overall.
Yeah, I think he could have done, maybe a little bit better back there, but I think TY actually had a pretty immaculate hold. It's 44 to 67. So although Trap is chased away, TY is going to have a hard time developing and matching the engine that Trap set up for himself as far as production goes. But can TY actually counterattack here? Look at that. Hardly anything mining at the 3rd now.
Well, he definitely does need to refill his SCVs a bit. He does still have mules working for him and everything. But, you know, when the armies start getting small like this, I guess you have to really look at which technical units that we have on both sides. Right? There are a few tanks here that's going to help him defensively. 2 Colossus, an Immortal, a few Archons. There are Ghosts that are going to be popping out, and this is a good defensive spot. With a couple Liberators added in, I can't imagine TY dying, but as you asked, like, can he do some sort of counterattack? I don't think so, not yet. Like, he's got to play a somewhat defensive game here because you just see Trap. Trap is just walking around outside of his base, right? He's sharking around looking for anything he can get.
Okay, Trap is itching to basically have a knockout punch here on the third base. He's got to be careful, though. This is not a great angle, no matter how you cut it, to try to come in. Even that little turret place there is really good. It just sort of makes it, it's a little bit too much of a thorny area to try to get in there. You're going to eat a lot of splash damage, especially the unit composition the Trap set up, which is strong and could take fights, but can it actually crack into the defenses here? I'm not so sure. Now, Trap's also continuously expanding. It's going to be 5 bases to 3.
He's playing a beautiful game. I don't know if this attack in is appropriate, but we'll see. He has these Liberators here. He has these Siege Tanks here as well.
Yeah, there's no way that TY is going to be busted here. Thing is, Trap doesn't have to attack. He's playing one of the best PVTs ever.
Other than that attack.
Exactly. Like, the way he's growing is really scary, but a moment like that gives an opening here that we're seeing happen right now where TY says, okay, maybe you overexpanded now. TY was stuck in his base until Trap actually attacked and lost too much.
Absolutely.
I like this better if Trap stays back and doesn't attack.
You sit on that high ground and keep patrolling like he is. Yeah. And TY has to play a weird defensive stance, and it's not what you want to do as Terran. But when Trap gives you, like, gift wraps a big chunk of his army, look at this. He counterattacks, kills a Nexus. Like, here comes Trap trying to kill the army off, and his army is stronger on this terrain by a little bit, but TY's reinforcements come down from the north, and he starts to push him back again.
I think this army's small enough that he can't stay here. TY can. No, I guess he can. He's going to keep fighting.
Well, he has medevac, so I think he'll boost out here in a second.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. There we see it.
Yeah, and nice punish there from Trap, picking off one of them. The Liberator's still getting some damage. So he doesn't get as many of the probes there at that what base number was that even? I guess that was technically the third base of Trap. Yeah. As he really wanted to get. So there's still a really healthy economy for Trap, even though he lost that base.
You know, Trap's actually still ahead. It could probably just rebuild that, but Trap almost got ahead of himself in this game. I keep going back to that attack where we saw, like, he had his 5th base finishing, and I think I understand the idea of, like, okay, he's low enough. If I get one more kill on here, if I force a lift, it's over. Yeah. But then again, you know, he actually grew at an abnormally fast rate, and sometimes it's better to actually make the Terran figure out and fight for a new base instead of trying to break their position.
His army composition, his patrolling outside of the base, and his expansion timings, I agree. It's some of the sharpest, nicest PVT we've seen, growth-wise. Beautiful. We see some picture-in-picture here. He's just doing a little bit of a zealot attack. TY, oh god, he's not set up for this. He is not ready for this.
Yeah, and you know what actually would be crazy is if Trap went up to the natural.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's actually nothing up here. Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
I think he realizes these tanks are unsieged.
Oh, God, this is not looking good for TY right now. That is a good engagement right there from Trap.
Yeah, this is...
He does have the Viking count, though. He is starting to pick off these Colossi. Gets one of them. And, oh, one shot left on that other one. He has got to go back in and get it.
Trap's going to win this game. Yeah. Trap's going to be up 2-0 against TY. GG. Wow. Artosis. This could be a 3-0.
Yeah. Well, it's a 2-0 right now.
I can't believe how well
Trap's playing. There's so many good redeeming things about his play. That attack was poor, though, right? Like, we saw the Liberators, the Siege Tanks, the defensive arc, the turret, as you pointed out. He had a sensor tower there, so he saw it coming and could get into position. It was certainly not the best attack, but his growth rate of expansions and the way he was macroing his units was phenomenal. He was in control of that game. Really well done. Good counterattack from TY and everything. Just,
Death Aura for Game 3 here. I don't know that TY can come back and win 3-0. I think maybe he takes a game here, but, like, Trap looks in the best PvT form I've ever seen from him, and that's saying a lot because he usually is one of the top 2 PvTers in the world.
Yeah.
Game start.
If you say so. What we need is
Africa Freaks. TY.
when the games where we need a game finished, boys.
That's you, Tasteless.
That's me.
It's literally your job.
Oh, my bad.
That's what you're known for.
Trap.
Oh, game finished. Oh.
See if TY can fight his way back. He did get a few probes that game. First game really didn't get any. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to go like a more Hellion heavy opener or something, try to get in. But so far, Trap's defensive, his early harassment has been phenomenal.
So this time around, I'm wondering how TY can play better. Trap appears to have a really firm grasp on the matchup overall.
Yeah. I think it's tough because you have to have a lot of different plans here, right? As the Terran player, like the one thing that we see a lot of times is people forego the armory and the 2/2, and
yeah,
because like if you nail that timing going up, you're definitely pushing towards a longer game, whereas a lot of Terrans maximize their strength before that, so that if there's any missteps or any openings, they can do better damage against Protoss. But we're not going to really see that from Trap, I don't think. His defense has been awesome, his macro's been awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like you do have to go into that longer game, which is very, very tough.
I do wonder, have we seen any series this year where TY has looked as outmatched? Because I can't think of anything.
Let me think for a second here.
Nothing for me comes to mind at all. This is like
Yeah, you're right.
a shock to my system.
Well, he's lost almost no matches this year.
Most of my year,
because he won 2 GSLs, so he lost 1 match in Season 2.
Yeah, most of our year is following TY around winning all the prize pools. So
that's fascinating, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is, I'm just not. This is not the night I thought we were gonna have here, where it looks like Trap may just clean him out.
So he lost Season 2, if I'm not mistaken, to Stats 4-2, I believe. I'm trying to recall this pretty clearly. So I'm pretty sure that's, if my memory is not failing me, that's the only match that he's lost in GSL, other than we'd have to go back to Super Tournament 1, which I honestly don't remember the bracket to.
Yeah, if we go back far enough, these tournaments start to blend together for,
yeah.
for you.
Well,
and
if you go back far enough,
yeah,
you shouldn't really consider them with recent form anyways.
Was that the one that Nestea won? It's like, no, Tasteless, that was 9 years ago.
Actually, I think today is Nestea's birthday.
It is?
Happy birthday! Yeah. He's like a year older than me, I think.
Yeah, so he's 57. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy? I hope we go to a Game 4 here. I hope we have a long night ahead of us. I actually envisioned this being a long and dramatic series.
Look what TY's doing, by the way. Oh. Did I tell you, Tasteless? Hellions and Medevac.
No surprise there.
Yeah, no, this is
how he killed Parting earlier.
Yeah. This is when he actually wins against Protoss. It's generally in the back of moves like this. Now, Hallucinated Phoenix literally finds the Medevac. So it's hard to imagine.
Imagine being a Hellion in this Medevac. Like, are you sure you want us to go in there?
I think he's still going to dive. It's like, you know that one of his units is a sentry, and that's not going to hurt you. I love how he walled himself in all the way. Yeah, 2 more Stalkers warping in, that's the end of that.
That's when it's time to go home. Of course, that hallucination can't do any damage to it. So even though it seems like you have to go, and I guess that was more of almost a scout. Oh, he's going to back up and actually try to come in now.
Yeah, I think this is, he should try to get in again because he has a Liberator popping out. He might be able to draw the Stalkers to where the Liberator is and then do a drop or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, still poking and prodding.
TY is still the best in the business when it comes to this style of play, but I don't know about that hiding spot right in the middle. Probes don't find that, but a Hallucinated Phoenix just flies right over it.
Yeah. I guess you don't see Hallucinate that often anymore, right? Oh my god, that's a lot of Stalkers. Look at him. He's trying to draw them over because the Liberator's about to hit the natural.
Now, this should be a tell that the Liberator's coming. Yeah.
Oh, he's ready for it. He's 100% ready for it.
No magic tricks from TY here.
No. You see TY's head go to the side a little bit right there. He's like, oh man, I'm not getting anything.
Yeah, Trap's like, the coin's in your other hand. He's like, come on, man. I'm trying to do a magic show here.
It really feels that way. TY really tried to get something done,
Yeah.
and he ends up getting like a probe.
He's like, no, the white pigeon is tied up in your right breast pocket, okay?
Damn.
And is freaking out. He's like, no,
That's not it.
no. You're like, in his jacket. Oh my God! Now the medevac goes down.
Yeah. Okay, he's actually walking in a couple of mines, so let's see if... No, he sees that too.
Oh my God, I almost choked.
That was almost...
Yeah, that was almost the craziest thing ever.
Yeah. That could have been...
That was so crazy.
That would have made everything worth it. That could have been like 10 probe kills easily.
Yeah.
Just barely.
That's where he
doesn't
comes back like one of those prestige musicians. Magicians, not musicians, excuse me.
It's like, yeah, I don't
whatever
remember
you say,
the
tasteless.
the movie having that. It wasn't about music tasteless.
This is already, I don't want to say looking like a loss for TY, but TY has not really had any wins. And here we go. It gets worse as the 3 Hellions are picked off. How do you even take a third base here as TY? It just seems like everything's set up to lock you out. Maybe Trap doesn't attack in there, though.
Well, it's Stalkers, so 3 tanks with siege mode and some Marines. Like, I mean, yeah, you're gonna be able to land it, but it definitely feels like an uphill battle right now for TY. Trap has just played so brilliantly. Some great defense. All right, he has 10 Stalkers. We should see him get into some other tech now. I can't imagine him trying to actually get a kill. I think that would be too much.
Okay, possibly coming in here from the side. And this actually is a great idea here by Trap. I mean, you're not going to lose that many Stalkers if you can just blink right out. And it's just some way to keep your opponent, like, losing stuff here and there. Now, in this game, what exactly would TY want to do to try to win and not make the mistakes that he made before? Because Trap does seem to have pretty flawless play. Like, it's not like TY's playing poorly, but we rarely ever see a Protoss play this well.
Yeah, he is playing really awesomely. It doesn't feel like any timing pushes are going to get him. So do you go into a much later game, a much longer game? TY is good at those. Remember, he played some of those like against Parting, for instance, where, you know, he kind of goes like planetaries, more siege tanks, goes for a really long-term type of game. That might be the right way to approach it, because honestly, the way that Trap has been playing and how this game has gone so far, there's not going to be a kill timing. I think you've got to grind this one out.
Okay, the Warp Prism's going to come in again. Are we going to have any actual Warpins here? 1-1 is finishing up. I think this is a great way to just keep Terran back for now.
Yeah. Probably have to recall that one out.
Yeah. And here's the 4th base for Protoss. Freshly finished.
I want to see if he's actually going to go for an armory pretty quickly here, because his 1-1 is, 3/4 done about. And like that, yeah, I feel like that's a big tell onto what his actual plan is here. Oh, look at him. It's pretty brazen.
Yeah, I guess he's just going to see if he can't get any extra damage off here at all.
I don't know. The Vikings aren't coming. I'm just going to go.
All right, here we
Oh,
go.
now you lose it.
Oh, yeah, one-shotted right there.
Yeah. Flew too close to the sun, that one.
Yes, young Icarus. Okay, 1-1's going to finish, and we're going to have Terran push out, I think.
Well, look, he's going armory. He's going to armory, but I think that's actually just a mistake. But just the fact that he's going armory is telling us that he is preparing for a longer game. So remember that armory was not well timed with starting 2-2 in the previous games.
Another Zealot timing attack coming through here. It does pull Terran back, though. It was enough Zealots that TY had to respect Trav, so he's going to pull them away.
Honestly, like, if that forced TY to turn around rather than TY was going to turn around anyways, then thank you, Trap, for prolonging the game, because I think TY was not going to kill Trap with that move, right? Like, if you lose your army one time, you're not going to beat Trap. You got to keep that army together.
Okay. The rocks are going to be torn down over here, and it looks like the attack will probably be set up onto the 4th base. If Trap can keep a wide berth over here, Like, it's going to be very hard to attack and break that. But now we see TY regrouping. He's going to move over here to the left side of the map.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually turning around, which I think is absolutely something he needs to do. He does have a Liberator going out and harassing a little bit. Those Zealots just continue to be annoying.
This is the most important part of this entire best of 3 right now. Because if Trap stops this, he's probably going to win the game while flying right over the Observer. He could recall if he wanted to.
Yeah, does he have the energy? It looks like he's going to go for a counterattack, warping in some units at home. He definitely knows that this is coming. This is a very powerful drop, but a lot of TY's army is out of position, so the counterattack, I mean, we might just see a base trade.
Yeah, well, this is so much. This should just run over everything, right? I mean, these SCVs that are used to defend are just obliterated by Splash from 5 Archons here. And frankly, there's more base for Trap anyways. It's not like TY's smaller army can actually gnaw its way through all of the stuff that needs to be destroyed here, whereas if you look at what Trap's doing, yeah, that's it. GG. Trap just completely shutting TY down. Whoa. Yeah, that was just a better counterattack. Trap knew the ins and outs of this matchup better than I've ever seen, frankly.
It was very well done. It was very, very well done.
3 of the best control game PVTs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He just sort of caught all the harassment, all the attacks, knew when to go back and defend, but he also knew exactly when he needs to just dive in, like in that last moment. He says, that's half of your army dropping me. I have 5 Archons, Colossi, and more Zealots than I can count. And so let's just go. Let's go,
count
dude.
To 20.
Yeah, what is the half of your army going to come back and fight while the other half is destroying some of the gateways in my base? I have 4 bases. You have 3.
Yeah.
And also in PvT, one of the unique things about the base trades is all Protoss has to do is get on top of the barracks.
Yeah.
Protoss can keep warping stuff in.
That's very true.
And keep remaking those gateways. So we're going to go to Stats versus Rogue next, guys. Don't go away. We'll be right back.